Hello everyone. In this lesson, we will learn about comments. Here's a quick overview of what we will cover. So first, we will answer the question, what is a comment? Next, we will answer the question, can I disable comments? And finally, we will answer the question, what is comment moderation? Okay, so let's go through these one by one. Without further ado, let's begin with what is a comment? Alright, so here we are on the home page of my website, and before I show you what a comment is, I think there's a good chance you're already familiar with comments. Because if you've ever used Facebook or Twitter, you know that when you post something, your friends can leave comments on that post. Okay, and that same concept of commenting on posts exists in WordPress. So for example, if I use my main navigation to go to the travel blog archive, and then if I click on this trip to the Midwest post, from this trip to the Midwest detail post screen, if I scroll down towards the bottom, you will see this leave a reply area. So within this comment field box, I can click to place my cursor there and then begin typing. So I can say, this is an amazing post. I love it. All right, and now finally, to submit that comment, I can just click this button down here. And now, whenever someone visits the detail screen for the trip to the Midwest post, if we scroll down below the content, here we see that comment that I just left. Now, because I'm currently logged into WordPress as the admin or the owner of this website, it was very easy for me to leave a comment. I only had to fill out the one single text field, and then with one click of a button, my comment was added to the website. However, most comments you receive will not be from yourself, they will be from other people. So now, let me open up another web browser. Here we go, and in this browser window, I am not logged into WordPress, right? So notice that there's no black admin bar across the top of the page. So this is what the general public will see when they visit my website. So now I will try to leave a comment as a stranger or just a random visitor of the website. So I will click on travel, and then I will click on trip to the Midwest. I will scroll down to the bottom. Here I can see the comment that the administrator left, and if I scroll down further, here is a form that strangers or just random visitors of the website can fill out. So first, they will type out their comment. The sky is blue and this post is excellent. Thank you for writing it. All right, but if I scroll down a bit further, we see that there are a few other fields that strangers or random visitors will need to fill out. So because they are not logged into WordPress, we will want them to provide a name for themselves. In this case, I will just say that my name is John Doe. We also want them to provide an email address. In this case, I will say that my email is johndoe@johndoe.gov. And then the website field is not mandatory, so I can leave that blank. And then I can just click this Post Comment button. All right, and here we can see that comment. And there's one detail that I want to draw your attention to. This message that reads, your comment is awaiting moderation. What this means is that currently, John Doe is the only person that will see this comment on this trip to the Midwest detail post screen. The general public at this moment in time will not see this comment. The owner of the website or the admin will need to approve this comment before it gets truly published so the entire world can see it on this post. So for example, if I open up yet another web browser on my computer, so here we go, and in this window, I am neither the admin or owner of the website, nor am I John Doe. So pretend that this window is just another random visitor of the website, and if I go to the travel page, and then click on the trip to the Midwest post, if I scroll down to the comments, you can see there's only just the one comment from the admin. So again, in order for the entire world to be able to see that comment from John Doe, an administrator of the WordPress website needs to review and approve that comment. So let's do that right now. So let me jump back to this window. So you'll see that at the top of this window, there's the black admin bar. So this is the window where I'm signed in as the admin. So if I click on this link towards the top left, that will take me to the WordPress admin dashboard. And let's look in the left-hand sidebar for comments. So here it is, about halfway down. Let's click on that. All right, and we see 2 comments. WordPress highlights the comments that are awaiting moderation in a beige background color. So for this first comment, we see that it was created by John Doe, and it reads, "The sky is blue and this post is excellent. Thank you for writing it." Now, while my cursor or mouse is hovered over any part of this top comment, these options here will appear. So in this case, I want to click on this first option to approve the comment. But if someone left you a really mean-spirited, foul comment, or if they left you a spam comment, we will talk more about spam comments in a couple of minutes, you could click either trash or spam. But again, in this case, I will click approve because this looks like a very nice, kind-hearted comment, so approve. And now, if I jump back to my other web browser window, where I was pretending to be a random stranger, and if I refresh this page, again, this is the Trip to the Midwest detail post screen. So if I scroll down to the bottom, now we see 2 thoughts on Trip to the Midwest. This is the comment we created as the administrator, and here we see the comment from John Doe. All right, so that was a quick overview of what a comment is. At this point, let's change gears a bit and now answer the question, can I disable comments? Right? Because comments can be great. They can allow discussions to emerge organically on your website. But comments are not for everyone, and comments are not for every website. In a lot of instances, comments will appear unprofessional. Comments may just not fit with the mood of your website. So first, let me show you how to disable comments on individual posts, so on a post-by-post basis. And then after that, I will show you how to disable comments for all posts going forward. Okay, so for our first example, let me go over to the travel page, or I should say the travel category archive screen. And instead of Trip to the Midwest, let me click on Trip to the East Coast. So if I scroll down, here we see the Leave a Reply area where I can create a comment. And let's imagine that I want to disable commenting just for this particular Trip to the East Coast post. But maybe I don't want to disable commenting on my entire website. So in that case, what I would do is head over to my admin area, click on Posts. Here is Trip to the East Coast, so I will click on that. And currently, if I scroll down towards the bottom of this page, in the left-hand column, I do not see a comment or discussion box. However, if I scroll back up to the top and click on this top right Screen Options menu, so click right about here, all of these new options appear, and now we see this discussion option with a checkbox. So go ahead and check the checkbox for discussion. And then you can click Screen Options again to close that menu. And now if I scroll down towards the bottom of this page, here we see a discussion box. So the first option is Allow Comments. Let me uncheck that. And the second option reads Allow trackbacks and pingbacks on this page. So the question is, what is a trackback? What is a pingback? Well, in this example, if another website on the internet linked to my Trip to the East Coast post, and then someone clicked on that link from their website over to my website, WordPress would create something that almost looks like a comment, but is technically considered a trackback or a pingback, and it would basically just list the other website that linked to my post. Now you're free to leave that enabled, but 100% of the time I uncheck this box. I never leave trackbacks and pingbacks enabled on my websites because personally they seem tacky, they seem spammy, because I have no control over who's going to link to content on my website, and I don't want to list a bunch of random references on my posts. Anyways, the key point here is that we're unchecking the Allow Comments box. So let's scroll back up and click Update to save this post. And now if I use this link to go back to this post on the front end of my website, if we scroll down to the bottom, we see that that reply area to create a comment is completely gone. It disappeared. All right, so that's how you can disable comments on a post-by-post basis. Next, you might be wondering, what if I want to disable comments for my entire website? So I don't want anyone to be able to leave a comment on any page or any post. Let me show you how to set that up. So again, let's use this link to head back to the admin dashboard. In the left-hand sidebar, towards the bottom, let's hover over Settings, and then within the pop-up menu, click on Discussion. Okay, now these first three options are the ones that we are interested in. So here we can see that these are the default settings. These options will be used whenever we create any new post in the future. So for example, let's uncheck this option first. So it reads, allow people to post comments on new articles. So if we uncheck that box, now any post we create from this moment forward will have comments disabled. We can also uncheck this option. So now any post we create from this moment forward will have trackbacks and pingbacks disabled. And then while we're at it, we can also uncheck this option, and that way our website won't attempt to create trackbacks or pingbacks on other people's websites. So with these three options unchecked, let's just scroll down towards the bottom of this page and click on this blue Save Changes button. All right, so now any post we create from this moment forward will have comments disabled. However, I do want to point out that if you are trying to disable comments on your website entirely, these three options will not take effect retroactively, meaning any blog posts that I created in the past, before I unchecked these options, those blog posts will still have commenting enabled. So for example, if I click on Posts in my sidebar, and for example, if I click on Easy Spaghetti, this Easy Spaghetti post is one that I created in the past, long before I just updated those universal comment settings. And so if I scroll down towards the bottom, you'll see that it still has Allow Comments checked. So I would need to uncheck those boxes and then click Update. So long story short, if you are creating a brand new website and you know right away that you do not want comments, then one of the very first things you do when you get your WordPress website should be to go into Settings, Discussion, and uncheck these options. If you do that right away when your website is still brand new and you haven't really created any posts yet, you'll be in a great position because then any posts you create from that moment forward will have commenting disabled. All right, so we just reviewed how to disable comments. Now let's change gears and talk a little bit about comment moderation. So we actually already covered comment moderation a little bit earlier in the lesson. So if I jump back to my admin area and in the sidebar, click on Comments. Remember, this is the screen where we can hover over a comment and then either approve it or unapprove it or mark it as spam or send it to the trash. All right, and anytime we perform one of those actions, that's an example of comment moderation. We are moderating the comments. That's really all there is to it. It's pretty simple. But I do want to show you a few settings that you can change to fine-tune commenting on your website to meet your preferences. So in the left-hand sidebar, towards the bottom, if we hover over Settings and then click on Discussion, I want to bring your attention to this portion of the screen. So it reads, before a comment appears, and then we have these two options that we can check or uncheck. By default, only this second one is checked. So it reads, comment author must have a previously approved comment. This is the default option that WordPress gives us, and I think it's a great option. So 9 times out of 10, I just roll with this setting. Basically, once we as the administrator approve a comment from someone, then anytime that person wants to leave another comment on our website using the same email address that we already approved, they are free to do so. We don't have to approve any of their comments in the future. I think this is a great option because it frees up our time as an admin. So once someone leaves a decent, respectable comment on our website, we can trust them a little bit. So then in the future, we don't need to babysit them. When they submit a comment, it just automatically gets published. But if you want to retain full control over which comments appear on your website, you can uncheck that option and check this box for all comments must be manually approved. On the other end of the spectrum, if you're a fan of chaos and anarchy and you just trust people implicitly, you can uncheck both of these boxes and then anyone in the world can leave a comment and have it immediately appear on your website. Personally, to me, that option seems a bit extreme, a bit risky, because the internet is not always a nice place, and people might leave really foul comments that might tarnish the brand of your website or the brand of your company. But that's totally up to you, so feel free to check these boxes based on your own personal preferences. Personally, 9 times out of 10, I think that this default setup is a good way to go. All right, now let's change gears a little bit. Remember earlier in the lesson, I promised that we would talk about spam comments a bit later on. So let's cover that now. The question you might have is, what is a spam comment? A spam comment is not a mean-spirited comment or a troll comment. A spam comment is a comment created by a robot that was programmed to scan the internet for websites that allow comments and then automatically leave pre-created comments that don't make any sense, that have links to other, perhaps malicious websites, right? So it's just like a spam email. The villains of the internet create spam email robots that send out spam emails to millions of people. All right, well, those same villains create spam robots that leave spam comments on every website. Now, spam comments are a big reason that I leave these options the way they are, right? So I don't want all comments to appear on my website because 99% of comments are spam, created by spam robots. Now, at this point, you might be thinking to yourself, great, did I just inherit a full-time job? Do I need to constantly be on the lookout for millions of incoming spam comments on my website? Well, luckily, the answer is no. Now, that's actually going to bring this lesson to a close, but in our next lesson, we will learn about perhaps the biggest plugin in WordPress history. There is a plugin named Akismet that will block about 99.9% of incoming spam comments. So in our next lesson, we will learn how to install and set up Akismet, and we will shut down those dirty, filthy spam robots once and for all. Should be a lot of fun. Let's keep rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson. Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we will learn about preventing spam comments. At the heart and soul of this lesson is a plugin named Akismet. The Akismet plugin will automatically block 99% of incoming spam comments. Without further ado, let me show you how to get started using Akismet. Okay, so here we are on the home page of my website, and the first thing I want to do is jump over to the WordPress admin dashboard. So I will click on this top left link, and now in the left-hand sidebar, look for plugins. It's a little more than halfway down. Go ahead and click on plugins. All right, now this screen shows us a list of all currently installed plugins. There is a difference, however, between an installed plugin and an active plugin. So for example, remember this responsive lightbox plugin that we added several lessons ago? It's using a light blue background, and the light blue background signifies that it's activated. These other 3 plugins are plugins that I personally did not download or install, right? So I didn't search for Akismet, Hello Dolly, or Jetpack by WordPress. WordPress comes with a few plugins out of the box, but it doesn't activate them for you. Back to the task at hand though, we want to begin using Akismet. So 99% of the time, you will see Akismet in your list of installed plugins. But if for some reason you do not see Akismet here, perhaps your web hosting company removed it for some reason, all you need to do is click on this Add New button. And then from this screen, use this top right search field and search for Akismet. So here it is, it's the first result, and we see that it has over 1 million active installs. So if for some reason you did not see Akismet in your initial installed plugin screen, you can install it from this screen after you search for it. But let me jump back to my initial plugin screen. So from this list of installed plugins, on Akismet, just click the Activate button. Okay, now that activated the Akismet plugin within our WordPress website, but next we need to activate or create an account with Akismet, right? So just like you would create an account if you wanted to use Facebook or Twitter or Gmail, we need to go and create an account with Akismet. So as soon as we activated the plugin, we saw this green and blue bar towards the top. Go ahead and click the blue Activate Your Akismet Account button. And then from this screen, click this blue Get Your API Key button. That will open a new tab in my web browser and take me to akismet.com/WordPress. And from this website, go ahead and click the large blue button that reads Get an Akismet API Key. And on this screen, you're just creating a new account. So enter your email address, and then invent a username for yourself, and then type in a password. Once you fill out that form and click the Submit button, you'll be taken to this screen. In our example, we are going to use the basic or free plan. So go ahead and click this Get Basic button. Now, towards the top right here, we can see that Akismet is asking us if we want to give it a donation. So by default, it looks like it's set to a $36 per year donation, but I can just drag this down to the full left edge and say $0 a year. So I do not want to make a donation to the Akismet software. Once I do that, then the form on the left-hand side no longer asks me for a credit card. Makes sense because now I'm not paying any money. So go ahead and enter your first and last name and then click the blue Continue button. Alright, now this is the screen we've been waiting for. Here we see that Akismet is giving us our very own API key. Now I've blacked out my API key so you can't see it just for security reasons, but when you log into the Akismet website, it will give you your own uniquely generated string of characters here. So go ahead and select those characters and copy them to your clipboard. And now we can jump back to the other tab in our web browser that has our WordPress admin dashboard open. And if you can't remember how we got to this screen, that's okay. Let me show you one more time. So in the left-hand admin sidebar, you can always just click on Plugins. And then under Akismet, you can click Settings right here. Or you can click this large Activate Your Akismet Account button. So either will do the trick. And now down here where it says Manually Enter an API Key, as you might have guessed, now you can just paste in from your clipboard that API key. So once you paste it in, then click the Use This Key button. And congratulations, your website is now protected by Akismet. I'm not sure if it's really necessary, but just to play it safe, why don't we click this Save Changes button? And that's it. We are good to go. Now before we bring this lesson to a close, I want to answer a question you might have. Because you might be wondering, how does Akismet work? How does it block spam comments? How does it know which comment is spam? Now, I don't claim to 100% understand how Akismet works, but a big part of any anti-spam tool goes a little something like this. So for example, in the sidebar, if we click on Comments, remember this screen from an earlier lesson, here we can moderate the comments. So that means we can approve or unapprove, and we can mark a comment as spam or send it to the trash. Well, the idea is that if millions of people are using Akismet on their WordPress website, and if you see a spam comment and mark it as spam, the Akismet software watches for patterns and it notices which type of comments are marked as spam. And it's got a huge sample to work from, right? There's millions of people using the Akismet software. So over time, it builds up this huge database of what spam looks like, of what spam smells like. So the idea is that the hard work has already been done for you. Millions of people have already marked comments as spam, so 99.9% of spam will not even make it to this comments screen on your website. The vast majority of spam will just end up in this spam filter here. So if I click on spam, you can see it says no comments found. But over time, Akismet will do its job, and just like your email, how most of your email that's spam goes into the spam folder, well, all of your spam comments will go into this sort of spam folder. Now, nothing's perfect, so Akismet will not catch 100% of spam. So from time to time, you might see a spam comment show up in this main comments area, and you can help the world by just marking it as spam. And that's actually going to bring this lesson to a close. In our next lesson, we will learn about a plugin named Disqus. Disqus will let the visitors of our website leave comments without having to type in their name and email. right? So Disqus will let your visitors leave comments via their Twitter account or via their Facebook account. It's a really neat plugin. You've probably seen it used on other WordPress websites without even realizing what you were seeing. Disqus is entirely optional. You do not need to use it, but I think it might be a lot of fun to take it for a test drive. Let's keep rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson. Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we will learn about a plugin named Disqus. The Disqus plugin replaces the default WordPress commenting system, and the new Disqus commenting system allows visitors of our website to leave comments using their existing social media accounts. So meaning their Facebook or their Twitter or their Google account. And what's nice is it will automatically pull in their profile photo, like their avatar, and also their name. So this way, if someone comes to our website and wants to leave a comment on one of our posts, they don't need to manually type in their name and their email address. They are probably already logged into one of the social media networks like Facebook or Twitter or Google, and now they're just one click away from leaving a comment as themselves, logged into that account. I think this will all make more sense when we see Disqus in action. So without further ado, let me show you how to set up Disqus on your website. Okay, so here's my website, and before we get started, I do want to point out that the Disqus plugin is completely optional. You do not need to do this. So if you're happy with the default WordPress commenting system, that's great, that's fantastic. If that's the case, you can actually just skip this lesson. However, if you are at all intrigued by the premise of Disqus, and you want your visitors to be able to comment using their social media accounts, I think it's worth giving Disqus a try. I'm not in any way affiliated with Disqus, but I am including it in this course because it's a very, very popular solution. In the real world, when I build websites for clients, a lot of the times the client will request the Disqus commenting system. It can really go a long way to help engage your audience. Now, having said that and having stressed that this is completely optional, let's get down to it. So if you want to try out Disqus, the first step is to head over to your WordPress admin dashboard. In your sidebar, look for plugins. Here it is. Let's click on that. We want to install a new plugin. So you can either use this button right here that says Add New, or you can use the Add New link in the sidebar. From this screen, let's use this top right search field. I will search for Disqus. Here it is, the first result. As of this recording, it's got about 200,000 or more active installs. So I will go ahead and click this Install Now button. Once it's finished installing, now I can click this blue Activate button. And now from my main installed plugin screen, here is Disqus, and right under it I can click on this Configure link. I see a message which reads, you need to upgrade your database to continue. So I will click this Upgrade button. And now the Disqus plugin is asking for my username and password. Now it is not asking for my WordPress username and password. It's expecting me to have a Disqus username and password. Okay, so at this point we've installed the plugin, but now we need to go create an account with the Disqus service, right? So just like you would create an account with Facebook or Pinterest or Twitter, let's go do that for Disqus. So you can Google for Disqus, or you can just right click on this link right here that reads, don't have a Disqus profile yet. So I will right click on that and click Open Link in New Tab. And then if I jump over to that tab, here's the sign up page on the Disqus website. So just go ahead and enter your name, your email, and pick a password for yourself, and then click Sign Up. Next, you will be taken to this screen, and from here we are interested in this second option. It reads, I want to install Disqus on my site. So go ahead and click that. All right, these first two fields look good. The first field that we really need to customize is this website name field. So you and I are going to have different website names. The name of my WordPress website is something along the lines of Learning WordPress. Really, you could type just about anything here. It doesn't need to perfectly match your WordPress title. So make up a name for your website here, and then category, I'm just going to choose technology. But feel free to choose whichever one makes the most sense for your particular website, and then click Create Site. From this screen, I will just click this Got It, Let's Get Started button down here. Okay, now Disqus is asking me which platform my website uses. And as we can see, WordPress is so popular that it's the first choice. WordPress powers between a fifth and a fourth of the entire web, so that was probably a safe guess on Disqus's part. But just go ahead and click on WordPress here. Technically, we didn't even need to click on WordPress because all this really does is give us a few instructions, and we've actually already completed a few of these. So step 1 is just telling us to go into our WordPress admin and add the Disqus plugin. So we've already done that. Step 3 is activate the plugin. We've already done that. So at this point, let's jump back to the other tab in our web browser where we are still logged in as the admin in WordPress. If you can't remember how I got to this screen, let me show you again. So from plugins in the sidebar, that will show you a list of all of your installed plugins. And then under Disqus, click the configure link. Okay, so we're back on this screen, only now we actually do have a Disqus username and password. So go ahead and type those in and then click this next button. Once you do that, this next screen will show you a list of all of your Disqus websites. Now, if you're brand new to Disqus, you're obviously only going to have the one Disqus account website that you just set up just a moment ago. So go ahead and check the checkbox or radio box near that option, and then click this blue Next option. And congratulations, you just set up Disqus on your WordPress website. Let's take it for a test drive. So if we switch over to the public front-facing version of our website, let's go to the Trip to the Midwest blog post and try to leave a comment. So I will click on Travel, and then I will click on Trip to the Midwest. And now if I scroll down, instead of the default WordPress comment area, now we see this new area powered by Disqus. Now I'm currently logged into Disqus with my Brad account, the account that I created to add Disqus to this website. So it already has my photograph and I am free to leave a comment. So I can say, this is a test comment. I love the post. Amazing content. And then I can click this button that reads Post as Brad. And there we see it. So because I was already logged in as the Brad admin Disqus account, that was very simple. Now let's pretend that we were just a random stranger visitor on the internet coming to our website for the first time. So let me open up a new web browser. So in this window, you can see that there's no black admin bar at the top. So in this window, I am neither signed in to WordPress nor am I signed in to Disqus. So in this window, let's try to leave a comment on the Trip to the Midwest post. So I will click on Travel, and then click on Trip to the Midwest. And if I scroll down, here we can see the Disqus comment area. Here's the comment that I just left as the admin in the other browser window. But if I want to leave a comment as a stranger, I can just click into this field and begin typing my content. I love your blog. This post is great. Okay, now you will notice though that there's no submit button right here. But Disqus gives me a few options. So I can log in either with a Disqus account, a Facebook account, a Twitter account, or a Google account. So for example, if a visitor of our website was already logged into Facebook, they could just click on the Facebook icon and be good to go. Or if a visitor of our website doesn't have an account with any of these networks yet, they can click on this option to sign up for a Disqus account right here and now. They can just click here and then enter their name, email, and password, and they will be good to go. Now that's really all there is to the Disqus plugin. It's pretty simple. But before we bring this lesson to a close, I do want to show you how you can moderate comments. Right? So if someone leaves a malicious comment or if a spam comment makes its way through, here's what you can do. Back in the window where I am signed into WordPress as the admin, so you can see I have the black admin bar at the top, Let's jump over to the admin dashboard. And in the sidebar, let's click on Comments. And because we are using the Disqus plugin, you'll notice that the default WordPress comment moderation screen is empty. So instead, now all we have is this blue button that reads, Go to Disqus Moderation. So if you click on that, it will open a new tab in your web browser, and you might need to log in using your Disqus account username and password. But from this screen, now you can moderate the comments on your website. Now, I don't currently have any comments, but you can see up here that you can switch between viewing the comments that are waiting to be approved, so the pending comments, and the comments that have been approved, the spam comments, the deleted or trashed comments, and all comments. This Disqus comment moderation screen is very intuitive to use. There's not much to say other than this is where you go to moderate your comments. And that's actually going to bring this lesson to a close. In our next lesson, we will change gears. So we're done with comments, and up next, we will learn about something named widgets. Widgets are an essential part of WordPress, and I will give you a hint or whet your appetite for the next lesson. Widgets are what will allow us to customize the sidebar column, as well as other areas, of our website. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's keep things rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson.